All right, next up, we've got Alabama and Texas, obviously one of the marquee games on Saturday, without a doubt, and a noon Eastern, 11 a.m. local time start and kickoff in Texas here. Alabama right now, 20 to 20 and a half point favorites, 20 pretty much across the board, 64 and a half the total, which has gone up from 62 and a half. I mean, unless Alabama's leading by a massive margin late and they take the air out of the football, they milk the clock, which is exactly what they did last week against Utah State. How they could have put 60 on the board probably against Utah State. The more I watch Alabama and Georgia, the more I think it's them, and then everybody else is just lagging behind. I mean, what they are able to do to teams that are not bottom feeders, these aren't dregs that Alabama and Georgia kicked the living snot out of this past weekend. Alabama just laid waste to the Mountain West champions from last. That was the Mountain West champions from last year, Utah State. And Alabama
I thought they'd score. They didn't even score. I mean, shit.
And Alabama just treated them like they're, Bethune-Cookman or something on Saturday. I mean, that's not chopped liver. Holy gosh. I mean, that's Utah State, Mountain West champions from last year. Unbelievable dominance once again by Alabama, as usual, in that 55-0 whipping over Utah State. And they took it easy on Utah State. Like I said, they only got a touchdown, 2 touchdowns in the third quarter, and they pulled everybody and they just milked the clock after that. I mean, if they wanted to, they could have hit 70. Seriously. I mean, if they went full bore for 4 quarters against Utah State last weekend, that's unbelievable. And if you think that's unbelievable, Georgia with that 49-3 ass kicking. Oregon's not chopped liver. They've only been one of the best teams in the Pac-12 for years, and Georgia kicks the shit out of them. But the point is, Alabama and Georgia are just at such a different level right now. It's absolutely insane. And I ain't stepping in front of them. Yeah, is this line rich? Of course it is. They're laying almost 3 touchdowns on the road against a Texas team that's very capable, that's got Quinn Ewers, who I thought did an excellent job in his debut, now against Monroe last week, but I think he's going to be an excellent quarterback for them. I love the look, too, long hair and the beard. It's great. It's like he's been in the mountains. I think he's going to be a really nice quarterback for them. But here's the problem, all right? I ain't stepping in front of Alabama. I ain't. And the problem with betting on it, but I ain't betting on them either, because my number only had this at 19. And here we are 20 and a half with Alabama. So, but at the same time, I'm not looking, there's not a number that I say, you know what, if this gets to 21 and a half, I'm taking Texas. No. That is how scary right now Alabama is. Both sides of the football. Bryce Young and that offense. The defense is just absolutely terrific as well. Richardson's going to be up for the Heisman as well on the defensive side of the football for this Alabama team. And at the end of the day, you think Saban and Alabama was taking Utah State seriously. Here they are playing Texas, national TV on Fox. And I believe this is the first time, I think if off the top of my head, it's the first time Gus Johnson will be doing play-by-play for an Alabama game. I don't think he's ever done an Alabama game for Fox, but here he is doing one for a change. And Alabama's too good right now, period. And I ain't stepping in front of them. The first half, I was worried that it was 28 for a full game point spread of 42. Like you weren't getting a bargain, and yet they still easily covered the first half number. So, yeah, Alabama first half, if you won with it last week, if you've been riding it last year and 2 years ago, I wouldn't talk you out of taking that. But they just look like they're at a different level. And it would take at least 24 and a half for me to even consider Texas. And even then, I may not bet Texas. That's how much I respect what Alabama's doing right now. Conor, what do you think?
Yeah, I would want more than that. I don't want 28 and a half. I got to see more. This is so early with Sarkisian at Texas. This is not an easy one here. And I got to say, for me, this is pretty simple. Bama first half, roll tide. I think if you could get it around 10, I'm sure it might be a little higher, obviously, with this 9.5, 10. It might be, they juice it up now, so it's probably going to be 13 and a half. But I think they take care of business. I mean, I think they bottle up Robinson. I was just surprised how well the defense played, because I thought Utah State would get some touchdowns there late. I thought they could move the ball at least in that second half, and they didn't. Texas is one of the best receivers in the country in Worthy. They got to get him the ball And a start to Texas is key, to stay in this game early, because I think if they get, down, this could get ugly later in the second half. So I like Bama